Okay, let's start this deep dive. I've been thinking about this. This feeling of weight we carry. Not, physical weight exactly, but something held in stillness. It seems to come from objects. Things that are silent, but they almost. Huh. You know that feeling? Like a quiet vibration?
Ah, yes, that hum. I think of it as the silence of saturation. It's like the history the life lived sinks into the grain of wood or the thread of an old blanket. It's a full kind of quiet.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
we hold on to these things, maybe because we feel like they need us, like we're
Yeah.
protecting your story.
Right. That's the core thing we're looking at today, isn't it? We tell ourselves, I'm keeping this photo, this little shoe to preserve the memory. But what if it's the other way around? What if the memory through the object is actually preserving us, holding us in place, like, pins in a display case,
Yeah.
stuck?
That's a powerful image. And it touches on a core Zen idea. The Buddha you meet on the road,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be willing to let that idea go. It's not about disrespect, it's about freedom. Because the Buddha you think you've met, that's just your concept, a monument to a moment, a relic.
And these things we keep, the stuff in the attic, the boxes in the closet,
Yeah.
they're our own personal relics then.
Exactly. They aren't the memory itself, they're the shadow of it. And shadows, well, you can fold them neatly, but they can't really warm you, can they?
No.
Think about, say, a teacup, a simple teacup. Once, it was alive. It held tea, warmth, steam rising. Someone lifted it. It was part of a present moment. Now, on a shelf, maybe behind glass, it's become a monument. It might be beautiful, sure, but it's frozen.
Ah, okay. Present.
And when we freeze the object like that, we
Right.
freeze a part of ourselves too, the part connected to that time.
So that's the first paradox right there. We hold on thinking we're keeping the past alive, but by doing that, we're actually stopping ourselves from really living now. Because we're always looking back at that frozen thing.
Yes, that's the attachment. That's the cost. We mistake the container, the cup, for what it held. The life, the warmth, the connection that was in the moment, not in the ceramic itself.
Okay, logically I get that. The object is the shadow, frozen. But why is it so hard emotionally to let go? Why do we build these dams out of old clothes, faded receipts, dried flowers? We're so convinced keeping the thing means keeping the feeling.
Because we're afraid of loss. Deep down, we fear how untamable feelings really are. Feelings aren't things we own. They're more like visitations.
Visitations.
They arrive, they might stay a while, maybe intensely, maybe quietly.
Yeah.
And then they move on. They were never meant to be trapped in a box.
But okay, practically speaking, what about, say, an old sweater? Maybe it still has my mother's scent, faintly, or it holds the shape of my father's shoulders. Doesn't throwing that out feel disrespectful? Like throwing away the love?
Not necessarily. That love, the real inheritance, the kindness, the strength, the patience that actually lives in you. It shows up in how you treat others, maybe the way you hum a certain tune without thinking. It's in your hands right now, in this moment.
So the love isn't in the attic stuck in the sweater.
It's in your actions now. The sweater, the object,
Yeah.
it's just a reminder, a prompt maybe, not the thing itself.
Ah, wow, that really shifts things. So instead of asking, why should I keep this, or what does it mean, the question becomes, what is this object asking me to release so I can carry the real meaning forward?
Precisely. That's the path. It leads us to that quiet koan, doesn't it? If you let me go, will you forget? But maybe the deeper question, the one that digs a bit more is, if you keep me, will you ever be free to truly remember?
Truly remember, meaning not just cling to the artifact.
Yes. True remembrance needs presence, not proof locked away somewhere.
But trusting presence, that's hard. We're so conditioned to collect evidence, aren't we? To prove things happen.
The mind believes, you see, that if it stops holding on so tight, the past will just vanish, evaporate. But memory isn't like that. It's more like a river.
A river.
Yeah, it carries the shape of the land it's crossed, sure, but it's always moving. It doesn't flow backward to stay in one place.
That reminds me of that Zen story. The monk with the little wooden box, carried it everywhere for years, guarded it like treasure.
Yeah.
Then finally he opens it and nothing. Just dust. Maybe the smell of cedar.
And he laughed. That's the crucial part. He laughed. He'd carried it, thinking its contents defined him. But the content was emptiness. The things we hoard are usually tied to that fear of forgetting. But forgetting isn't loss. It's actually making room.
Making room for what though? Because sometimes you clear a shelf, right? And there's an initial relief like, lighter. But then there's this ache, like a silence that feels empty, maybe even sad, like a piece of the story's gone.
I understand that ache, but what if that's
No, it
silence?
doesn't.
What if it isn't absence? In Japanese arts, there's this concept, Ma. Yes. It's the pregnant pause, the space between notes in music, the intentional emptiness in a room that lets you breathe. It's the fertile ground everything arises from.
The empty shelf isn't loss, it's an invitation.
Exactly. It's potential, readiness, like an empty bowl waiting for tea.
Okay.
That feeling of dread or ache. That's often the mind clinging to the familiar clutter, afraid of the wide open space.
But think of your mind less like a packed warehouse and more like the sky.
The sky.
Clouds drift through, some dark, some bright. None of them stay forever. The sky isn't damaged by letting them go. It just is.
That changes letting go from this difficult chore, this purging,
Yeah.
into something more like creating space, a kind of spiritual practice.
It is, absolutely.
But how do we practice that? Space making. When life is so busy, we're not all monks sweeping temple courtyards.
Ah, but perhaps you are. Always sweeping the courtyard. The practice is profoundly ordinary. Think about that monk sweeping the same stones daily. He wasn't just cleaning stones.
Right, he said, I sweep the mind. Exactly. The action is simple. Broom, dust, maybe water. But in that focused attention, the mind naturally stops clinging so hard.
We tend to think presence has to be some big revelation, sitting on a mountain, waiting for lightning bolts.
Zen often whispers something simpler. Presence is washing the dishes and actually feeling the warm water on your hands.
Look at that.
Just that. Not the grand theory, but the micro attention. Feeling the soap, hearing the clink of plates, not replaying an argument, not planning tomorrow, just the dishes.
Just the warmth, just the soap.
Yes. And that is where memory truly transforms. When we stop grasping at the form, the faded photo, the old coat, we start to connect with its living essence. Not as a dusty relic, but as something resonant right here, right now.
I see the trap now. If I'm staring at the old photo trying to recapture that exact past feeling, I actually block any real feeling that might be available now.
Precisely. It's like a piano key.
A piano key.
If you press it down and just hold it, the note rings out, sure, but the piano can't play the next note. The melody stops. Memories are like that. They need to be touched, felt, and then released, so life's music can continue.
Which leads right into identity, doesn't it? If I'm not defined by all the stuff I've kept, all the experiences I've cataloged, then who am I? Letting go of the items can feel like letting go of, well, myself.
Ah, yes. The deepest koan of attachment. It makes me think of that old question. If a tree falls in the forest, no one around, does it make a sound? Modern thinking gets stuck on the physics, right? Sound waves, eardrums. But the Zen approach might ask, why are you so sure you were ever the one listening?
Whoa, so it's not about the tree or the sound. It's about assuming my perception is the center of reality.
Exactly. Are you the warehouse manager, defined by the inventory, or are you the space?
Yeah.
The awareness in which memories simply appear and dissolve like ripples on water?
Realizing that feels revolutionary. Quietly revolutionary. You're not your memories.
You are the space in which they arise.
And that space. It's always fresh. Always now.
Always. Always ready for the new moment. And this reveals the second great paradox. To truly hold the past, to honor it, you have to stop physically holding on to it. The fear isn't really about losing the past. It's the fear of losing the self we've built around it.
That's liberating just to hear. The past doesn't vanish when we let go. It becomes the ground we stand on.
Right.
Unseen, maybe, but essential. So the best way to honor the past, the people, the moments, isn't to preserve artifacts. It's to participate, to live the lessons, the kindness, the courage now.
That is the alchemy. Release unlocks participation. You don't need the old coat to remember the feeling of love it represented. You become the coat, in a way. You wear that memory of love gently. You offer its warmth to others freely, without needing to be kept forever on a hook.
Memory without chains.
Yes. And suddenly, the ordinary moments, they light up. The
Yep.
steam from your coffee, the sound of keys in the lock, they become sacred when met with full attention.
Available. Just by paying attention.
This attention, this is fidelity to life itself. True remembrance isn't clinging. It's living so fully that the past shines through your eyes, no objects needed as proof. We set down the stones we thought anchored us, only to find we can float.
And floating there. In that quiet hum of the world, having made room. We arrive at the deepest koan, maybe. The one only the next breath can answer.
Who are you when you're no longer holding on?
There isn't a final word, is there? Just the next breath. And maybe in that quiet hum, you find you're already home.